Let's just jump right back in where we left off. Whew. As soon as my eyes adjust to the darkness of the room, I'm on my feet. I'm reaching for my knife and holding it out, watching, waiting for every movement. Using it as a way to put distance between me and these peasants. Who knows what they'll do now? We're all desperate to get out of this house. There's only 5 of us in this room, 3 of them friends at that. Though Mint has already gone loon, crouched in a corner, muttering to herself. You can't really say anyone's safe from her. If anything, she's the one I should watch out for. I cannot trust these people not to turn on me. I cannot trust anyone. Not anymore. Not after this. Despite the pleading looks, Lily shoots my way while they all huddle in the corner behind Feathers. But I have to remind myself that even people like her are capable of doing the unpleasant. She's only human after all. It's never an excuse why even Hannah has her cunning, manipulative moments, though she does it much more subtler than I. Why else would Lily show this letter to us that day, if not to save herself? I guess that backfired on her now that she and her own friends are also stuck here. Still, I have every right to be livid. Everything that I've built has fallen apart, all because these people came into our lives.
You! All of you! This is all your fault! If I've died to this bloody case, I'm taking you all down with me!
Calm down, Wright. The situation's already bad. You're just making it worse.
You shut your mouth! If it weren't for you, or this letter, for all of you, none of this would have happened! Anna would still be!
Suddenly, Daisy steps up and slaps the knife away from my hand.
Don't you dare, Luke! Don't you dare put that blame on us!
Without batting an eye, glaring at me as if she might just rip my head off in this instant, said knife slides uselessly under the table, out of my reach. Should have expected she's not the kind to submit even under threat. Right now, all of us appear smaller, facing her anger.
And what about your friend over there? Are you saying she is responsible for this mess? For the lives this sorting letter took? Dragging other people into her own problems just so she could save her little sorry self? You think I haven't seen that before? Getting real tired of your double standards, Daisy!
You know this curse is an entirely different issue, Luke. Because, knowing you, I don't doubt that even without that blasted letter, you would have eventually...
Rebecca, stop! All of you, stop this!
To hear Lily speak out loud, I can't say I'm not surprised. She has always given me the impression of someone so meek from the moment I've met her, either from her inexperience or her station in life. She has never struck me as someone fitting to be a real estate agent. If anything, that meltdown she had during the open house had only proven my assumptions. Until now. Quietly, she puts herself between me and Daisy, cutting whatever scathing words we've yet to hurl at each other. The way she glares at me, it reminds me a little of the way my own mom would look at me. Particularly when I've done something wrong, and it's not a stare she's unused to showing. She has done this before, probably to a younger sibling. Huh. She only sees us now as a pair of squabbling kids and not two mature adults. Well, that's only to be expected. No doubt that's how she sees us. For a long moment, there's only silence in the room. Feathers, for all his guts, doesn't even dare break it, merely watching us. Where did all his bravado go now, huh? Not that it matters when Lily starts speaking again after some of the anger and tension has lifted from the room.
Stop this, please! With or without that damn piece of paper,
A deep breath. An exhale. And then she closes her eyes, a crease forming between her eyebrows while she grips her hand tightly in front of her.
we still would have ended up in this mess.
The atmosphere that descends into the room right after that admission is anything but pleasant. Can I call it that? An admission? It seems like it from the way her eyes nervously flick between her friends and I. She appears to know more than she lets on, and how she makes herself appear smaller after dropping the bomb on us doesn't sit quite well with me. Impatience is something I don't have the luxury of having right now and bestowing upon other people. What else does this girl know? What else is she not telling us? Because from the look of this, even her friends has no idea what she's talking about. Unwilling to wait, I grab her arm before she retreats without explanation, waving the letter still in my hand in front of her.
Ow! Sir, you're hurting me!
Hey, hands off her, right?
Fuck off, Feathers. I have questions for your friend, and she better have the answers.
Luke, will you stop taking it out on every single person?
Your friend is hiding something, Daisy.
She struggles for a moment, but my hold eventually forces her to look up at me. Fear and uncertainty spreads across her features, especially when her eyes land on the damn paper. As much as I want to be considerate right now, I want answers.
What do you mean, Lily?
I'm not sure about it.
Don't give me that, you know something!
Ow! Please, sir. I know the paper's useless, okay?
At the mention of the letter, all of a sudden, Mint stands. I've almost forgotten she's here, her ramblings having faded away in the shouting. Without warning, she snatches the paper out of my hand. It's a miracle it didn't rip right there and there, but the way she glares at it, I think she wants
We should have gotten
to
rid
do
of
that
this thing.
exactly.
We should have burned it at the first opportunity we got.
No, even if we rip it to shreds, it won't do anything. I think...
You don't know what I've seen, Santos. There were children, victims, all because they had no idea what this thing will do to them. Oh God, those poor souls. They were screaming and begging before she...
Then what about those people they mentioned in the news lately? All those who died? My coworkers? The open house clients? None of them had seen it. Even Rose. And yet they're all dead.
Oh, hang on.
I should know. That letter has been with me since I picked it up.
Alrighty, back to what we were doing.
And I swear I didn't make copies of this thing. Even if I wanted to save myself, I wouldn't do that to my friends. Or anyone.
Is that what the trip to BRC was for?
Yes, I'm sorry. I couldn't tell you guys until I was certain. None of you believed me the first time. I had to find proof.
And yet we're all here! Are you taking me for a fool, Lily?
I have to go with whiskey on this. Who knows how many has already seen this before you found it? This cursed thing has to go!
We would have ended up here either way. Maybe? I really don't know. Sir, please. All I know is that paper isn't the reason why all of this is happening. There's something else. Maybe it's this place that's the problem. Maybe it's this we should be getting rid of.
What? You mean, like, burn this place down?
I still think we should get rid of this letter before we start thinking of destroying a place with some historical value!
What? No? We are not burning a multi-million-pound mansion, you peasants! I just spent a fortune on this! Bloody fucking hell! Not only do I have trespassers on my property, but they're also arsonists!
How dare they suggest something like that? Bloody peasants. My head's already aching just listening to them. To think this is all the solution they can come up with, I should have just stabbed all of them and made a run for it. Doesn't help that with each second we spend talking here, the crazier this whole place gets. The voices have become louder and somehow sounding more vicious. If the things in this room start floating, mark my words, I will fucking flip out. They may not be thinking of it right now, but eventually they'll turn on me. Such is the nature of humans. Better find a way out of this place as soon as possible if I want to stay alive. Fuck, I still have so much to do. None of our choices seem sound, but who knows? We don't understand a shite about this place. Might as well try everything, yeah? Whatever works. If I also have to be the one to make the bloody decision, so be it. Less room for errors, with the only sane one doing the thinking. On the off chance I'm wrong, well, they suggested it. I decide to... Well, if we are going based off of who has and who hasn't seen the letter, but I don't know how many other people have seen the letter before. It might just be people who have come to the real estate place. God damn it, fucking screaming in the background. Who have been to the property before, and over time they, you know, they start to die off because it used to be, there used to be the old BRC Realty guys, and then they disappeared, and then it was Isabel's co-worker, Rose, who died. So I think it might just be like, it's just picking people off one by... Let's just burn the mansion, okay? I mean, there would be no place for this. I mean, if we just burn the letter... I mean, you can burn the mansion and the letter at the same time. You can't burn the letter and then not the mansion. You could do both. Or we all die. Decisions. What do I decide to go with? Is it only the letter? Or is it something more? Hana saw the letter, but she's possessed. McCullough has seen the letter. Let's look through some notes here, boys. Let's see here. Profiles. Through a party. Roll bar. Isabel Santos found a mysterious letter. Yeah. Driven to fear by what she read inside. Only to meet. It has to just be being in the mansion. Because I'm trying to think of anybody else who's been in the mansion that hasn't really been, you know, or, you know, whose story we haven't really, yeah, sex eyeballs, we haven't seen be affected. And that would be Shrokin. That would be about it. So when was this letter first found? Friday, October 21st. So it was on the 21st. Well, let's go back here. Father died. That's probably just coincidental. Because I remember them talking about how the other people... Well, we're gonna go with that. I'm gonna regret this, I will. But with these cries growing louder, this has become the easiest decision I have ever made. That's what we're just gonna burn everything to the ground. Getting tired of hearing her sobbing, really. It's just irritating. Isn't she getting tired of it? Besides, someone has to act fast, think fast. What else is the root cause of our problems but this place where the letter was found? No need to make things more complicated. It started here. Why won't it end here? Let's hope. If what Lily has said is true, then there's all the more reason to destroy it. Put an end to this madness before someone thinks of putting this blasted place up in the market. Yeah. When I get out of this place, I swear I'm suing a bunch of people, run that estate company to the ground if need be. We spent millions, damn it. Millions. With a sigh and perhaps a heavy heart, I open one of the drawers in my study table. Taking a bottle of liquor out for myself, then passing it on to every occupant in the room. They accept it, but not without a look of protest or a confused glance my way. It does shut them all up, so maybe I've done something good. Even more when I pop the cork off the bottle and pour its contents on the floor.
Well, what are you simpletons waiting for?
We waste no time dousing the whole room, the smell of alcohol filling the air. We're all just gonna burn in here. If I didn't know any better, I'd say they're more than eager to set this whole place on fire. And the blaze catches easily in this room when I set it alight using the blasted paper as kindling. With the whole place drenched with wine and all manner of things alcoholic I've been hiding from Hannah, the small fire soon turns into an inferno. In a matter of seconds, we're out the door. Doesn't exactly lead. Any of the kitchen does give us more reason to play like a bunch of pyromaniacs, fishing the liquor stocks from the cupboards. We also do the same thing we've done in the study. Door after door in every room we pass, pouring bottle after bottle of expensive aged liquor and setting everything on fire, only leaving once the blaze has started in earnest. When we run out of liquor, we simply drop the bottle and take one off my many nooks I've stashed one. There's no lack of it in here, the hard stuff, the shorts, the watered down kind. Gifts from a distant relative, friends, so-called friends, you name it. I've made sure there's always one within reach.
How many of these things do you keep in this house?
All of them.
I always have a few bottles in the bedroom, you know, the parlor and the dining room.
You have problems, man.
Well, isn't this the time to discuss them?
Anna had called me out for this numerous times before, telling me of the same thing. I've always told her she doesn't know the half of it before completely dismissing her concerns. Worrywart, that woman. Turns out it'll be useful now. Not to drown out my sorrows, but for this, wonder of wonders, though I suppose I can now say it has also saved my life. But there's no time for some introspection right now, because with each room we pass and burn, this place has also become easier to navigate, as it's slowly rightening itself, returning to what it's supposed to be. Soon, we finally find ourselves standing before the main door. The strong odor of burning wood, cloth, and varnish alike wafts from under the doors of the rooms we've previously torched, slowly filling the hall with a thick black smoke. The blaze has also started in earnest in every part of the house. I can already feel the heat seeping from the rooms I've set aflame. In a matter of minutes, flames will engulf the whole house. Fittingly, this is when she appears again before us, watching us from the top of the stairs while our world goes up in flames around her. However, what catches my eye is that expression on her face, not the vile smile I've grown accustomed to, or the one where her eyes gleam with complete hatred. This one, forlorn, is the only word I can think of to describe it.
No, please. Help me. Help me, please.
Nope, I'm sorry. Not really. Can this dead still feel? Can she still hear us, or is it merely another one of her tricks to trap us in this nightmare? Yeah, no, I'm not like this, however. She seems almost like the woman she used to be. I have to remind myself she's no longer Hannah. The woman I loved is gone, and who stands before me is nothing but a pale imitation of who she used to be. And I don't waste any time pondering over it. Not with the exit just a few steps away. The door is finally open, and through it I can glimpse the world outside. Safety. Oh no. However, I do turn, if only to see the last of her. A farewell more than anything. For all her attempts to lure me, draw me in, or wishes to be with me, she does not stop me. When I finally run from this horrid place, quietly she disappears. Watching a multi-million-pound house burn before me, for some reason nothing about this bothers me. Maybe it's this last one look at her face that has changed it. Maybe it's what I've seen and heard inside. There's only a calm, a stillness, the same hush that comes after a terrible storm has swept the countryside. And with it, it's the sight of the sun rising above the horizon. Ever so slowly, the sky begins to lighten before my eyes. Darkness giving way to the warm morning hues, soft rays spilling over the vast expanse of Luxborn's countryside. Nearby, the trees sway and rustle with the breeze, a passing draft that carries even into the room from outside, cold enough to make me shiver, the remains of a storm that has passed. In the distance, I can hear the soft chirping of birds while the rest of the world stirs, wakes. Dawn, at least. We are free. Like the flames that engulfed the mansion that night, whispers quickly spread across Luxborn after the incident. Officers who investigate it have simply deemed it an unfortunate accident, resulting in the deaths of innocent lives. Regardless of the truth, Luke Wright files criminal charges against Briar Realty Corporation after, for undisclosed reasons to the public, forcing the latter to declare bankruptcy, a move that has merely stoked the rumors further. But for those who still believe in the stories of the old and those who know the truth, it's but a testament to the curse and the secrets the Ermengarde mansion has hidden for centuries. If there will come a time those will finally be revealed, only the ashes of now ruined mansions know. However, on nights when the wind howls and thunder booms across the sky, some still claim to hear voices where it once stood, of cries and wails that fill the nights, and desperate calls for help for anyone who dares listen. As for those who once tread its halls, although Luke Wright has won his legal battle with Briar Realty Corporation, this time, however, with then Chief Inspector Harvey Lee's sudden absence, an investigation headed by LPD's Detective Inspector Ashton Frey, all of Wright illegal business dealing within the past 10 years come to light. Although his involvement with other crimes is still being investigated, the disclosure has caused a huge outcry, especially from the city's business sector. Sued on multiple grounds, company ultimately forced to shut down. Meanwhile, to avoid public outrage, the once affluent businessman immediately leaves the city. All of his bank accounts have been empty, including his Luxborn apartment, leaving not a single trace or clue of where he might be hiding. The last anyone has seen of the man was on a flight bound for Ireland. Till this day, no one has heard from him, even his people from the old Wright enterprise, who have all been left to deal with the aftermath. Though, over the past few months after the situation is calm, some have made claims to spotting him filtering in and out of city, if only to check on those he has left behind. Months after recovery, Mariana McCullough, guitar, then she visits Lorraine's grave, asking for forgiveness. In spite of this, a different regret still clings to her, one that has been left by what she had witnessed inside the Ermengarde mansion. She never returns to Luxborn after, leaving her interior design company in the hands of her secretary instead. But with her absence, the business eventually declines until they are forced to shut it. Unexpectedly, she returns to music years later, hoping it'll someday drown out the voices and the gruesome memories still lingering in her head. By some stroke of luck and an unfortunate circumstance of fate, Marianne encounters Luke Wright once again almost a year after she returned home. She meets the man in the local marketplace, newly settled, fumbling, and confused. Although her opinion of him remains ambivalent at best, especially after seeing him stumble on his Gaelic more times than she deems acceptable. And it becomes the start, not to a close friendship, but by any means, but perhaps something akin to it. And on better days, when virtual and scathing words don't get in the way, there's only the pleasant companionship one offers to the other. Casual visits to the other's home, sharing a bottle of wine or two, and simply talking about anything under the sun. A comfort after their mutual loss. Something they both eventually learn to appreciate with time. In the months that follow, Rebecca Gales becomes a prominent researcher, especially after writing what she discovered in Ansem Village. With the help from Professor Andrew Clark, she is soon able to secure funding to continue her research, presenting her findings yearly at local and international symposiums. Now, at the tail end of her current study, she hopes to publish her first book, correcting all inaccuracies in the city's current history, a move supported by both colleagues, students, and friends alike. Though she knows she still has a long way to go before she can even begin to change people's minds about it, Professor Clark has warned her as much. She perseveres, doing it not for herself, but for the sake of what she lost after the curse. As fresh as the wounds are still, this is how she remembers. Things have inevitably become strained between Ashton Frey and Rebecca Gales in the months following her confession and the man's eventual rejection. And with their new work and lives getting busier, the two have eventually drifted apart. Though neither talks about it and the teacher still strives to forget an old flame, it's clear in Rebecca that there are still lingering feelings of bitterness left. If anything, however, this has only made it obvious how much has changed between them, and how much she has clung to the idea of Ashton from their younger days, the one that may not be there in the first place. Merely an idea for a starry-eyed young girl. But if there will be a time she will be able to accept this, to move on from the hurt and repair an old friendship that has fallen to ruin, only she knows. With her newfound courage, Isabella Santos finally, having enough money to keep her family afloat for a few years and their blessing, she quits her job. Though remarkably out of practice and unsure if she'll be able to keep up the time, she returns to university. She finds her feet soon enough with the help of people close to her. And with her confidence and her skills growing, so do the number of people recognizing her and her work. It doesn't take long for several award-giving bodies to take notice of her. For all her accomplishments, however, she has never truly forgotten what happened at the Ermengarde mansion, nor what she has lost. The images still remain in her, and on particularly unpleasant nights, terror continues to visit her dreams. She knows those won't ever disappear from her life. It has become a part of her in the same way death is permanently taken from her. However, she's no longer afraid, and with a brave face she carries on, earnestly wishing that someday she'll be able to paint brighter, more vivid thoughts on her canvas, an honest portrayal of life and hope amidst the fear. Shortly after accepting the scholarship grant from Luxborn University, Isabella moves from Salem Well residence in favor of staying in a dorm close to her campus. Although she makes the decision out of convenience, she won't deny it is also going out of desire to avoid another awkward encounter with Rebecca Gales. Following the aftermath of the curse, the relationship between the two girls have turned lukewarm at best. While no harsh words have been exchanged yet, their wordless silence since the incident has only pushed them further apart. Isabella leaves her home of 5 years with a heavy heart. And even though she has jokingly complained about Rebecca's bossy attitude in the past, she confesses missing the woman's fussing. Despite their tense parting, she still carries hope that one day we'll be able to fix whatever has come between them. But if there will be a chance for it, it is a question that both ask until now. Following his success in bringing the Luxborn firm case to a close, encouraged by newly appointed successor, knowing he'll have more resources, leeway, and a bigger chance at ultimately bringing Luke Wright to justice, Ashton Frey accepts. He still warns the people close to him against Wright and his associates, but only a friendly reminder now, more than anything. Though he does worry, he believes they are wise enough to know what they are doing and trusts their judgment. For now, he has decided to leave the evidence and the law to speak for itself and take care of the man once the proper time comes. Nowadays, police work and operations keep him busy, sometimes taking him away from the city he grew up in for days on end. A rare thing for him to enjoy once upon a time, yet this time he never loses his drive. Simply growing more determined after having finally found a clear purpose close to the rush and excitement he dreamed of as a child. Although Ashton still keeps mum about specific details of his work, his experience with the curse has slowly taught him to open up. especially those he knows that genuinely care for him. He still has a long way to go, he knows that, but for the sake of the people who are still with him, those who have chosen to stay, as well as what he lost, he hopes that there will come a day when he no longer has to hide behind his own lies. A day when he is no longer afraid of facing the truth in his own words. After a bit of fumbling, of a few missteps here and there, and moments of briefly allowing the uncertainties to hang over them, Ashen Frey and Isabella Santos finally finds a rhythm. Theirs isn't a soaring love story by any means. Nor is it happily ever after, often told in the picture books the girl has only ever dreamed of having in childhood. Far from it, in fact. Despite what people glimpse in their eyes or gleam in their gestures, they both know better than to cling to ideals. A stranger will say they're in love. Hopelessly. Genuinely. And there is certainly truth in it. However, what they never see is this. Beyond the soft smiles, fleeting glances, and gentle touching only meant for the other is a grief. Terror that never seems to lift. Constantly filling their nights with echoes of an unforgiving wail and unwelcome dreams that stirs either awake in darkest hours of dawn. It has never truly left them, and it never will, in the same way the light scars on Ashen's hand will truly never fully heal, or the horror images, but they cope. In hushed whispers and tender reassurances, with light kisses and long embraces. When that no longer suffices, when the horrors become too much for them to bear, they have each other. Warmth to hold on to in the coldest of nights. And for them, it's more than enough. Oh, there we go. Of course, all the amazing work from all of these people.
The game was over before the rules were set. I've never been a winner. I didn't want to play. I thought there was a way out, but there's no exit from this maze, where every path is the wrong turn and every choice is a mistake. I lied to the Lord, I lied to myself, I lied to you and everyone I care, until there were no more lies to tell. Cowardice is easier than being brave, but at last I found the strength I lost to sing my love letter to you.
Dear you, if you're reading this, that means you finished playing the game in one way or the other, and we thank you for the time you spent in playing the letter. The game is our passion project more than anything, and we sincerely hope we delivered in bringing you a one-of-a-kind visual novel experience. The letter is hopefully the first of many visual novels coming from us. If you like what we did with this game and would like to support us, please consider donating to our Patreon account. You can also follow us on social media to get the latest updates. Our handle is Yang Yang Mobile. Thank you so much for everything. Let's talk soon. Love, Yang Yang Mobile Team. Art. Thank you very much, Yang Yang Mobile Team. I appreciate you very much. Thank you for the content. I'm sure the viewers also hopefully enjoyed it as well. Something a little different from my channel as opposed to some of the other games that I play. This is the first time I ever play. It's a really great game. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So, I will say this right now. We are, no. So, for anybody who does not want spoilers, I will thank you right now for the finale of the letter. Hopefully all of you guys enjoyed. And if you did, please subscribe, like, comment, whatever. If there's other games that you would like me to play, please let me know. So anybody that does not want spoilers, if you want to go play this game for yourself, and you know, go through the game based off of what you decide, I am going to say au revoir to you now. Anybody that would like to see the other branches, we will continue that right now. So let's see, 8%. Wow, we really didn't go a lot. Okay, so Isabella, the common route. And then there's a question: I eat other things too, or I don't know what the other thing is. Wow, I did a lot of this up here. Is this all the common route? Oh my god. Oh. Oh, well, there's just a game over there. Okay. What turned this into death? It was going into the mansion. That's what just killed me. Yeah, it just beelined me all the way. Oh, all the way over here. Two variants, huh? And I got to this, the common route. I wonder what this is right here. It's some interesting stuff. It's very interesting how they get through this stuff. And as the game progressed, you see I kind of get a little more weary with it. I was like, yeah, boom, boom, boom. Well, Zach, sorry, Zach, you didn't make it. You were the only character that didn't make it. And, you know, I can't help you there. And I just went with this whole lineage the whole time, pretty much, down here. Didn't even have a quick time event, actually, for Mr. Luke. So that was interesting. Yeah, but we only lost Zach out of everybody, so not terrible. Ashton and Isabella are together. Unfortunately, everyone's slowly growing apart. Luke Wright bounced out. I think that the mansion was the better idea. If I picked the letter, someone else was gonna die, probably. I don't know why. Just, you know, it's just better to have everyone escape. Maybe, you know, Luke might have not had all that stuff pop up about him that he's been doing in the past, but who knows. But like, again, I would like to say thank you everybody who has watched all of these. I appreciate you very much. Thank you for sticking around. I hopefully you all enjoyed it. If there is other games you would like me to play like this, or any other kind of games, please let me know. I have a giant whiteboard full of ideas, so I think I know what I'm going to play next. It's probably going to be Darkest Dungeon. I've never played it before. A friend got it for me, actually. But, you know, I kind of want to just bounce around from different games, just so I have a nice library for people who might be interested in one thing or another. So thank you all again, and have a fantastic day.